Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün İngiltere'de istihdam ve kariyer fırsatları ile University of Essex'ten Emma ve Paulina bizlerle olacak. Lütfen sorularınızı sağ alt köşede Questions bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Emma, the stage is yours now.
Great, thank you so much, Zainab. Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I'll just begin by sharing my screen with you all. Hopefully you can see that. So welcome, my name is Emma and I work in the international recruitment team at the University of Essex, and I'm delighted to be delivering a session today all about employability and support at Essex and sort of student development. So just to provide an overview of what this session is going to include today, I thought it might be useful to sort of start off with explaining what we mean when we talk about employability in terms of sort of higher education and in that context. We'll then take a bit more of a deeper delve into the labour market and the impact of COVID-19. And then we'll look at how the University of Essex places importance on employability and support, and how we can help our students and what we do to support our students as well. We'll also take a look at what opportunities are available to students that are studying at Essex in terms of employability and job opportunities. And we'll also look at what academic support is available, so how you were supported academically whilst studying at the University of Essex. And then we'll finally finish off by letting you know about the graduate immigration route, which you may well already know a bit of information about, but just as a reminder. So to begin with, what do we mean when we're talking about employability? This is something that's increasingly more and more important, and when we meet students and we meet parents, they want to know what universities are doing to support students in terms of employability and job opportunities. So employability really refers to sort of skills and experiences that a potential employer or a recruiter will look for when you're being interviewed or at the sort of the point of application. So really your aim is to sort of be as employable as possible and to take advantage of as many opportunities that come your way. And at the University of Essex, there are so many opportunities that you can take advantage of that will increase your employability. So your final decision in terms of sort of where to study will include many factors. So of course it will include the course and how that best suits you, the facilities on campus, the location, but employability is another sort of factor that we really encourage you to research and to take into consideration when you're choosing which university is the best fit for you, particularly if you are a career-orientated individual and you're really sort of thinking about how your university will benefit you once you've completed your studies and you're looking for a job. So whilst you're studying at university, there will be lots of opportunities to experience real-life employment opportunities. So that might include part-time jobs. So at Essex, there are lots of opportunities to get part-time work whilst you're studying, and there are lots of opportunities on campus as well. Some of those include working as a student ambassador, working for our students' union in one of our many hospitality outlets, or getting experience working as a sports club or society representative. There are internship opportunities as well, and of course there are placement opportunities. So placements might be short term, so they might be a month or a couple of months, or there are also opportunities to do a full year's placement as well, which I'll go into a bit more detail. So in a nutshell, that's what we're talking about when we are referring to employability and the importance of employability. So you're already thinking about studying perhaps internationally, and there are already some fantastic career benefits to you by studying abroad. So one of the first things is that it's an opportunity to build a global network of contacts. So at Essex, it's a really international university. And one of my favourite things about the University of Essex is just how international the university is, and its sort of outlook, its global outlook. So if you were to study at the University of Essex and you're networking with people or making friends with people from all over the world, then you're potentially already starting that step of building a global network of contacts. It's an opportunity to train for an international career. So if you're studying internationally, then it's possible that you might then want to stay in that country, or certainly if you're studying in the UK, then there's opportunities to stay in the UK and work once you've completed your studies. Also, it's a great opportunity to learn or improve language skills. So you'll already have a certain level of English language skills, and if you're wanting to improve on that, then it's a great opportunity. But there are also opportunities to learn new languages whilst you're studying in the UK. If you're someone that loves to travel, then it's a great opportunity to travel and study simultaneously, so you can get the benefits of both traveling and studying combined into one. Certainly it's an opportunity to become a problem solver as well, and the way that degrees are taught in the UK, we really encourage students to think critically and analytically. So by studying in the UK, then you're learning these transferable skills straight away. And it's an opportunity to really stand out from the crowd. If you're going to study at an international university, then it's an opportunity to stand out from other candidates, and future employers or graduate admissions offices may look favourably upon students that have got that international experience. And just some interesting sort of statistics really for you. 64% of employers said international experience in a candidate is extremely desirable, and the points there on the screen are sort of some of the reasons why. Employment confidence continues to rise, so 69% of employers plan to recruit in the next 3 months. And just sort of some industries to make you aware of as well: digital, cultural, healthcare, financial and green energy sectors are amongst the strongest industries for employment. And I'm sure that probably doesn't come as too much of a surprise there for you. So something to make you aware of really is when we're talking about employability and we're talking about skills, there are hard skills and there are soft skills. And there is a difference between the two, but increasingly employers are really leaning towards looking at soft skills. So when we're talking about hard skills, these are usually teachable abilities or skill sets that are sort of easy to quantify. So as an example, you'll sort of be learning these hard skills typically through training or through the classroom or through books or on the job. So hard skills will include accountancy, computer programming, mathematical skills, architecture. So if you like, you can put some examples in the chat box, and my colleague Paulina can sort of can monitor those as we go, if you like. And then just sort of on the other spectrum, when we're talking about soft skills, they're a bit more subjective and slightly harder to quantify. So soft skills might include communication, teamwork, creativity, problem solving, but these skills tend to be transferable, and so that's why more and more employers are really looking for students, for applicants to have a number of these soft skills, or to be able to demonstrate these soft skills when they apply for a job. So in terms of which skills are important to employers, this is a survey that was conducted by the Financial Times, and it reported that employers find it easier to hire graduates with hard skills than soft skills. And the survey found the 5 most important skills were the ability to work in a team, work with a wide variety of people, be able to solve complex problems, build, sustain and expand a network of people, and manage time and prioritize. So many hard skills are also in demand, for example, like data analytics, but more, we're seeing more and more that employers are sort of favouring or leaning towards candidates that have both soft skills and hard skills. So these soft skills, like working in a team, working with lots of people, building, sustaining a network of people and managing time, these are all things that certainly at the University of Essex you're taught as part of your course. So you're learning these really, really important soft skills and gaining employability potential whilst you're studying at the University of Essex. So soft skills can be developed in a number of ways, including part-time jobs, placement and internships, voluntary and society positions, sport, and of course your course. So this is how you can really develop your soft skills whilst studying. And you might naturally already have lots of these skills anyway, or you might, before even starting at university, you might have had a part-time job or had experience working as part of a team or playing sport. So it's very possible that you've got these soft skills already. It's just really important that you're able to sort of communicate and demonstrate how you've got them and continue to develop them whilst you're studying at university. So moving on, wanted to give some information about sort of the current UK job market. So 15 months after graduating, only 4.6% were unemployed. And these statistics, by the way, are from 2020, so not long ago at all. So 71.8% of employed graduates were in a professional level job. 12% of graduates were in further study, so students have gone on to do a master's most likely in that instance, or another degree. 42% of the workforce are graduates compared to 24% of the unemployed. And sectors least affected by the pandemic are primarily graduate employers. So hopefully these statistics are just some sort of reassurance of the opportunities and the value of getting a degree in the UK. So there has been an impact on recruitment following COVID-19, but it's not all bad news. So pre-pandemic trend towards increased use of technology, and the pandemic has also completed the shift. So CVs are screened by applicant tracking system. Psychometric testing continues online. Screening interviews are via video. So you can see already lots of things have just gone virtual or stayed virtual. So there are, of course, benefits to that in terms of being interviewed and not having to travel for interviews, and maybe being interviewed at international companies. So interviews will follow the same format, but instead of being in person, they're now via Zoom or Teams, for example. And online assessment centres replicate the in-person experience. So especially those sort of initial interviews and that initial recruitment process, like the first stage, if there are multiple stages, is more than likely going to be online. And online processes look set to stay in the future. So this is something that sort of was probably going to happen anyway. It's just that COVID-19 has sort of fast forwarded some of those recruitment processes. So changes in the workplace, there are a few, and again, lots of this is really quite positive. In terms of remote working, lots of companies were forced for their employers to work remotely, but sort of post-pandemic, it's very likely that lots of companies will sort of move to more of a hybrid working situation, which gives the employer and it gives the employee more flexibility. So it's likely that people will sort of work partly at home and partly in the office. But also career paths has changed as well. It's not such a sort of one-way trajectory, and it's more sort of there's been more fluidity, and in terms of sort of progression and moving across sectors. Because of these transferable skills, it means that you don't just sort of have to pick one company and stick with it. And again, sort of thanks to remote working and virtual opportunities, there's that more fluidity. And in terms of value as well, constant upskilling and digital dexterity, which sort of means that employees can move from industry and move across companies and sort of experience different opportunities and adapt more easily as well. So what does this mean for students? So there are some challenges in terms of sort of communication challenges, but as I mentioned, there's more of an emphasis on soft skills and transferability and adaptability. New digital tools to master, so sort of learning new digital tools in order to be able to be adaptable and work remotely where necessary, and also that sort of ability to embrace flexibility. I think lots of us are creatures of comfort, and it can be quite challenging sometimes to embrace change or embrace something new, but I think that that's a real skill. If you can embrace that flexibility and sort of be a bit more fluid and adaptable, then that's definitely going to be something that serves you well. And autonomy as well, sort of being able to work by yourself and be able to work in an environment where you're not necessarily always with a team. So at the University of Essex, that's a very sort of quick fire introduction to the labour market in the UK, and lots of it is the same internationally as well. But really, what we wanted to focus or wanted to sort of let you know is how we can support our students and get you sort of feeling reassured about how Essex places such importance on employability. So we know that thinking about your career can be quite daunting and quite overwhelming, particularly when you're, if you're at the point of choosing an undergraduate program, for example, you might not know what it is that you want to do, but there's so much support. So we get you thinking about career prospects and career opportunities really from the start at Essex. And yeah, we get you sort of thinking ahead of the game by developing your employability from the very beginning. We have a team of career professionals. So we have a career services and employability team. They are career professionals, and they're here to support you personally and advise you throughout your degree and beyond. So it's not just whilst you're a student at Essex. If you've completed your degree and you want support or you want some professional advice, then as a graduate you can come to our career service and request that. And you might be looking for part-time work, or you might be wanting to explore potential career paths or career ideas, or you might have a set career in mind. You might know exactly what it is you want to do. Whatever your situation, we're here to help. So one of my pieces of advice is take advantage of the career service at your university. Go and speak to them, set up a meeting, let them know about your situation, about your goals, whether you have any, and if you don't, then how they can support you, and maybe put some steps in place really to sort of to support you whilst you're studying at university. So in terms of what we offer at the University of Essex, we've got careers resources, which is available 24/7 via Careers Hub. So it's basically an online portal, which we also use to advertise job opportunities. There's an interactive CV checking tool as well. So in one of my previous slides, I mentioned about the CV screening process. So it's more important than ever that you make sure that you don't have any sort of spelling or grammatical errors on your CV, because those technologies will pick that kind of thing up. So we've got our CV 360, which will check your CV and make sure it's as good as it can be, and obviously give you some pointers too. And we also have a service which is called Interview 360, which is a practice tool. And again, something I really encourage you to take advantage of, because interviews, especially if you've not had that many job interviews, they can be the thought of them can be quite overwhelming and quite daunting. So take advantage of the practice tool. You practice makes perfect. So there's lots of practice tools that are available to you on our careers resources. You can also book one-to-one appointments with our career professionals, and they will give you some career advice feedback. They'll also give you CV feedback too, so they can check your CV and give you any pointers. Application support as well, so if there's a job that you found and you really want to apply for it, but you want a few pointers or you want some support with the application process, then you can make a one-to-one appointment and our careers service will help you with that. We also have our Skills for Success team. So this is a network of academics that provide specific sessions on various different academic like maths, statistics, writing as well, referencing. So take advantage of our Skills for Success team. They're there to support you if you want to develop new skills or improve on skills that you already have. And again, you can book appointments via our Career Hub if you want to make a sort of one-to-one appointment with one of our careers services professionals. We also offer employer events and careers fairs. So again, this is another thing I would really encourage you to take advantage of. It's a really good way to start networking and getting in front of potential employers. So we have employer spotlights and we have careers fairs as well. Sometimes the career fairs are department specific. So for example, our School of Law, they have a specific career fair that's just for them, but there's also more general career fairs as well. So really my piece of advice is to go to them, take advantage, get chatting to potential employers. It's a really good opportunity to put yourself in front of someone that could potentially end up hiring you and get some advice and speak to them. We also have career skills workshops and webinars. So workshops will sort of go over a few things like job hunting explained, so give you some good pointers on how to make the most of job hunting, and also explaining the CV, the best way to structure it, for example, what to include, what not to include, how long your CV should be, and the same with interviews as well. So some really sort of helpful workshops that will a sort of more of a joint collaborative approach rather than a one-to-one experience. So again, take advantage of these. They're really good opportunities to improve your CV, improve your interview technique. So I mentioned Career Hub already, so this is where job vacancies are listed. It's a really good place to look for jobs, so part-time jobs are listed. So at Essex we have schemes like the Front Runner scheme, for example, and student ambassadors, they will be listed on Career Hub, and then if you see a job that you would like to apply for, then you can just follow the instructions and apply for a job. There's a mixture of on and off campus jobs, so depending which campus you are studying at may determine which jobs are most suitable for you. But there are lots of job opportunities on our Colchester campus. One of the advantages with working on the campus is it makes getting part-time work really, really easy to fit around your study schedule. But of course, there are opportunities off campus as well. If you want to work in Colchester town itself, for example, then that's an opportunity, and some of those opportunities will be advertised on Career Hub. And also internships, part-time and full-time roles are listed as well. So if you're wanting to do an internship, if you're wanting to work over the summer, for example, over one of your winter or Easter breaks, then those opportunities are also advertised on Career Hub. And there are webinars as well, so looking for part-time work, for example. So this is a webinar that sort of explains how to look for part-time work, what are some of the filters that you should be using, and how you should be applying. So there's webinars that students can join to sort of help you with looking for part-time work. So hopefully you sort of feel reassured that you wouldn't just expect to know where to find all this information. There are we have professionals that can sort of point you in the right direction, but we have webinars as well to explain how to use Careers, how to make the most of these resources, so that you can find work, improve your employability, and gain those all important skills. So we also offer career mentoring as well. So you could be matched with an experienced professional, and they can offer one-to-one guidance and careers coaching. This is an opportunity to explore your ideas, values, and future possibilities. And if you would like career mentoring, then the application opens in spring and summer. And there's a minimum of 6 hours contact over a 6-month period. So yeah, again, this is a really good opportunity if you're wanting to get that sort of hands-on mentoring with an experienced professional. So that's also something that's offered at Essex. Rising Stars is a scheme where we support first-year undergraduate students from diverse backgrounds, and these students get access to opportunities from day one of starting at the university, and as part of this scheme you get support from a network of peers, careers professional and graduate employers. So if this is something you would like to learn more about, then of course we can send you information, but yeah, if you were to start at the University of Essex and you were to sort of qualify for this scheme, then you would be, yeah, you'd be able to apply and get some more information on that one. So interning is another great way to get experience, and some of these internships are paid as well. Essex interns, so we advertise internships on Essex interns, and they are paid internships exclusive to the University of Essex students and recent graduates. So if you're looking at Essex interns and you see an internship advertised, then that is going to go to either a current Essex student or a recent graduate. And internships available with a range of organisations who don't have their own internship schemes, from charities to commercial businesses. And again, these internships are advertised on our career hub throughout the year. So I would definitely, if you do study at the University of Essex, to get really, really familiar with Career Hub. It's going to be a good friend to you if you do get familiar with it. And then, of course, there are placement years. So placement years are a really, really great opportunity for students that are career orientated and they want to get that industry experience whilst they're still studying at university. So by doing a placement year, you get to take part in a work placement, and you get that industry experience, valuable industry experience for a whole year. So the way a placement year would work, and lots of our courses offer a placement year opportunity. So the way it works is you would do your first and second year at university, and then your third year you would go out and work for a company, and then you would come back and complete your final year of study in your fourth year. So that's if you're doing an undergraduate degree. Some of our masters also offer opportunities to do a placement year. The benefits of doing a placement year is it allows you to learn more about a particular sector or a company, or what it would be like to work in a specific role. And it's important to know that if you decide to apply for a job that has a placement year, you're responsible for finding that position, but we have a dedicated placements team that will support you with every step of that process. So they will help you and guide you, but ultimately it's your responsibility to find a placement year. I always encourage students to really think about doing a placement year or a study abroad year. They're such great opportunities, and again, it's a really great way to stand out from the crowd, to stand out from other potential applicants. And also there are often opportunities to do a placement year internationally. So if you wanted to go and work in another part of Europe, for example, then that is often possible as well. So Frontrunners is a scheme. I briefly mentioned it in one of the other slides. Frontrunners are a really, to be a frontrunner, you would apply through the Career Hub, and it's a really great way to get professional work experience with one of our departments. So it might be within the department that I work in the marketing and student recruitment team, or it might be in one of the academic department, so the department that you're learning within. So for example, Department of Computer Science and Electronic Engineering, they might offer an opportunity, a front runner scheme for you to go and work a few days a week within the department. But it's a great opportunity for someone that maybe doesn't have a huge amount of skills to learn new skills and knowledge of the workplace. They're paid, so it's an opportunity to earn money, and they are either on campus or virtual, depending on the role. So these opportunities will be advertised on Career Hub. So again, just take advantage. If you see a front runner job opportunity come up and you think you might meet the requirements for that role, definitely apply, because there's such great ways to learn these new skills and yeah, develop your employability. So in terms of what academic support is available to you, there's lots and lots of different outlets in terms of academic support. So every single student at the University of Essex will be assigned their own personal tutor, which will be someone that's within their department as soon as they start at the university. And that's someone that you can go to if you have any course concerns, or you want to speak to someone about a coursework assignment, for example, then you can go to your personal tutor. We also have a peer mentor scheme. So the way that that works is it will likely be someone who is studying the same course as you, but 1 or 2 years older. So if you wanted to have a peer mentor, someone that can you can go to, if you had any concerns, but is the same age as you more or less, but just a year or 2 older, then that is also a great opportunity. Employability modules are built into our courses, so we're really encouraging students to think about employability, to think about skills, and to be ready for the workforce as soon as they start at Essex, so that once they have completed their course and they've graduated from the university, they're ready to sort of go straight into a job. There are also lots of opportunities to volunteer, and again, volunteering is something that can make you really sort of stand out from the crowd and learn new skills. So you could be a country representative. So students from Turkey, for example, if you're a country representative, then you might do school visits in Turkey, speak to prospective students that are from Turkey that are maybe thinking about studying at Essex or in the UK. You can also be a course representative, so you can represent your course and again talk to students that are thinking about studying the course that you're studying. Again, you can be a peer mentor, so once you're in your 2nd or 3rd year, you can volunteer and be a peer mentor to 1st year students that will be going through the exact same emotions and feelings that you would have been going through when you started at the University of Essex. We also offer a scheme which is called the Big Essex Awards. So this is a volunteering scheme, and if you volunteer a certain number of hours, then you get this award is recognised, and it's also put on your transcript when you complete your degree. And I've mentioned our Skills for Success team already. So this is the network of academics that will support you with things like writing skills, mathematical skills, digital skills as well, research and referencing, and English language skills. So there's lots and lots of sort of academic support whilst you're studying at Essex. And one of the final slides, I think, before I go to questions, is just to make you aware of the UK graduate visa. So this is a post-study visa. So once you've completed your studies in the UK, you can then apply for this post-study work visa that will enable you to stay in the UK for an additional 2 years and look for work. So if you're coming over to the UK and you're hoping that you might be able to sort of get some work and stay beyond your studies, then it's really great news that the UK government has implemented this post-study work visa. It means that international students can stay in the UK once they've completed their studies. So if you're an undergraduate student or a master's student, then you can stay in the UK for 2 years with this post-study work visa. And if you're a PhD student, then you can stay in the UK for 3 years once you've finished your course. So you need to, in terms of eligibility and criteria, you need to have completed an undergraduate degree, master's degree, or a PhD degree, and a valid student route visa, and be on a student route visa at the time of application. So as international students, you will be coming over to study using your student route visa. You need to have studied in the UK without permission, with student permission for at least 12 months or the full length of your course, whichever is shorter, and a letter from your financial sponsor's consent to the application if your tuition fees or living costs were paid by a government or scholarship agency within the previous 12 months. So there's lots of information, and you don't have to worry too much about eligibility at this stage, and just know that the University of Essex would support you and provide you with information on the post-study work visa at the time that you've completed your course. But really just sort of wanted to make you aware that there are opportunities to stay and work in the UK for 2 years. Most of you, I'm making the assumption that most of you would be doing an undergraduate or master's degree, so you would be able to stay for 2 years once you've completed your study. And the last thing I just wanted to add was for students that are international students that are coming over to study in the UK on a student route visa, you would be allowed to work for 20 hours a week during term time, so up to 20 hours a week. So if you wanted to get a part-time work as a student ambassador or as a front runner, or in one of our cafes or hospitality outlets, then you would be allowed to work for up to 20 hours a week. So there is a restriction, but to be honest, once you've fit that in around your study schedule and your socializing, 20 hours is really quite a lot. But if you wanted to work for more than 20 hours during your holidays, so during Christmas or during Easter or during the summer break, then you can. You don't have the same restriction. It's just during the term time that you've got that 20-hour restriction. So I think that's everything in terms of employability. I think we have some time for some questions. I'll leave the screen just for a second in case you want to take a note of that email address. If you've got any questions that don't get answered or you want to contact us, please don't hesitate to send us an email. We're always really, really happy to hear from you and answer any questions. So I'll stop sharing them.
Thank you, Emma. So I was able to answer all the questions throughout except for the last two. First question is, do you offer online programs?
Like as in full online degrees, do you think that means?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so the University of Essex is very much a campus university. Obviously the last couple of years as a result of COVID has meant that we haven't been able to deliver our programs the way we ordinarily would. So lots of our courses or classes have had to be delivered virtually because of the pandemic. But the short answer to the question is we are a campus university. If you're looking at our website, most of our courses are delivered in person. However, there are a very small number of courses that are a part of our Department of Psychosocial and Psychoanalytic Studies, which are actually delivered online. So for example, our Masters in Refugee Care is now a course that you can choose to study that completely online. And there's one more Masters in Jungian Theory, I think. So there are 2 courses within our Department of Psychosocial and Psychoanalytic Studies. But the other thing to add is that we do offer some degrees online with our partner Essex Online. So these are the University of Essex online degrees, and I think we can probably pop a link to them in the chat, or I can try and find it quickly. So yeah, and some of these programs are. So these programs are delivered online, and there's the opportunity to study them part-time. But when you're looking at our degree programs on the Essex website, these are course programs that are delivered on campus. It's just that over the last couple of years we've had to sort of deliver some courses, or most of our courses, at least online for part of the course. But yeah, hope that answers them.
No, that's great. Thank you. And the second, sorry, there's more questions coming in. The other question was, do you offer long-term diploma programs? Do they include co-op?
Not that I'm aware of, no. No, I don't think so. Certainly not co-op as far as I'm aware. And in terms of like diplomas, I think we have some maybe postgraduate diplomas. Oh, can you hear me okay, Paulina?
Yes, yeah. Oh, apologies. I think it looks like Emma has dropped out of the call, so I will pick it up here. So no, as Emma was saying, we don't offer long-term diploma programs, unfortunately. There were some other questions that I already have responded to, but I just wanted to add. So there was a question about living on campus, etc. So I just wanted to add that there is a variety of different student accommodation options on all of our campuses. So you know, depending on your preferences, how many people you would like to share your accommodation with, etc. There are different options, and whether you want to be located on campus or whether you don't mind having a 5 to 10 minute walk from your accommodation. So I have put in the chat the link to our accommodation, so you can see that. So there's a number of new questions. Yes, well done. There's a lot of thank you messages for Emma for a very nice, informative presentation. So thank you, Emma.
That's okay. Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to see.
Yes, the UCAS application deadline is the 26th of January. That's correct.
But also, just to add to that, the UCAS application deadline is the 26th of January, and it's an equals consideration deadline. And I would certainly encourage you, where possible, to get your applications in by that deadline. But in terms of applying to Essex, there are still opportunities. If you miss that deadline, you will still be able to apply to Essex. Lots of our courses will still remain open beyond that deadline. So please don't worry, because it's only in a couple of days. So please don't worry or think that the opportunity to apply to universities in the UK is completely missed. If you miss that deadline, you'll still certainly be able to apply to lots of universities. So yeah, the equals consideration deadline is the 26th, and we encourage you to meet that deadline. But please don't worry if you miss it. There will be opportunities to apply to university.
Yeah, and the question is whether the same deadline is valid for masters.
No, it's not. Very different. Masters, the deadline for international students to apply for a master's, I think, is usually around the middle of August, middle of September. So it's much later. I would encourage students to get their application in sort of before the end of July, really, because then it gives you plenty of time to apply for the visa and to go through the next processes. But no, the deadline for masters is much later.
The next question is about whether there is environmental engineering master's degree at Essex.
Environmental engineering, not that I'm aware of. Caesar, if you want to drop me an email, I'll pop the email in that chat and reply to you. And then if you drop us an email, we'll take a look at that in more detail, because we do have some environmental programs within our School of Life Sciences, and then we have our sort of electronic engineering postgraduate programs. So perhaps we can pick that conversation up, but they're certainly not as far as there's not a degree sort of specifically on environmental engineering, but there might be courses that are of interest that sort of sits within one or two departments, so we can take a look at that for you.
Thank you. The next question is about a medicine faculty at Essex.
Yeah, good question. So we don't have a medical school as such, but we do have a School of Life Sciences. So I'm not sure whether you are a undergraduate student or you'd be looking to do a master's, but we do have undergraduate programs and things like biomedical science, which is often students can study those subjects and then go on to do postgraduate medicine at the university that has a medical school. So it's often a route into medical school. And then in terms of masters, we have masters within the School of Life Sciences, but if you're wanting to sort of be a doctor, then we wouldn't be the right university for you for that direct entry anyway.
Yeah, no, great. And the next question, as the language requirements, does the University of Essex accept TEFL, IELTS and Duolingo with the specific degrees?
Yes, no. So TEFL and IELTS, yes. Duolingo, or we have IELTS requirements, but in Duolingo we don't accept as a English language test provider, I'm afraid. And also it's worth adding that our English language requirements and all of our subject-specific requirements will be on our course web pages. So if there's a particular course you're interested in and you want to know what the specific requirements are in terms of English language, then you can find that on our course web pages. But the other thing to add is if ever there's a particular course that you're interested in and you're not sure what the entry requirements are, then please don't hesitate to get in contact with Paulina or myself, and again we'll make sure that the email address is in the chat so that you've all got our email address, and we can tell you specifically, because the IELTS requirements are sometimes a bit different depending on the course, and they're different for undergraduate and postgraduate. So yeah, if you want to know sort of what our requirements are specifically for a particular course, then please don't hesitate to contact us. And yeah, there's a good question about scholarships as well. So Essex, we have lots of really great scholarships specific for students from Turkey and for our international students. I mentioned that Essex is a really international university. That's one of my favourite things about Essex. So we really love having international students on our campuses, which is why we have really generous scholarships for both undergraduate and postgraduate students. Some scholarships are automatic, some are based on application, some so there's different criteria for different scholarships. It might be worth putting in the chat box
the link to the scholarships.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. I have already responded to a number of the queries about scholarships. I will just repost it in the chat. Here we go.
Thank you. And I'll just put a link as well, which has got information specific for students that are from Turkey. So that has information about entry requirements at undergraduate and postgraduate level, as well as scholarship and funding information too.
Is there any further questions at all?
I think we've answered them all. Thanks, Paulina. Thank you so much for your help with that.
No, not a problem. Oh,
you might just have one more.
There is something in the chat. Oh, thanks.
Yes, it looks like we covered all of the questions.
Sorry, Zainab, did you say something?
Yeah, so I was saying it looks like you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you also for your questions. It's great to see so many questions and so much in the chat. Oh, and I'll just finish off by adding both mine and Paulina's email. And if any of you want to contact us directly, then please don't hesitate.
Yes. We'll be happy to help.
Very happy.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation. It was really informative for the attendees. Thank you for your answers too. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. University of Essex ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Emma ve Paulina ile iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, you guys. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank
you so much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.